One well-known figure in contemporary gospel music is Kierra Sheard. As well as being an actress and entrepreneur, she is a singer and songwriter. The gospel world has never been the same thanks to her distinctive musical style and powerful vocals. Located in Detroit, Michigan, Kiara came into this world on June 1987. Gospel music has always had a special place in her heart. Faith and musical tradition were handed down through the generations, shaping Kierra Sheard's path. She was born to gospel great Kierra Sheard and Bishop J. Drew Sheard. Her mother was a member of the illustrious Clark sisters. Kiara has been involved with gospel music for quite some time. The gospel harmonies of God and the powerful voices of her family were constant companions throughout her childhood because music was an integral part of her household. She owes a great deal to the voice and commitment of her legendary gospel singer mother, Kierra Sheard. Bishop J. Drew Sheard served as an inspiration to young Kiara, and her father instilled in her a strong spiritual foundation that would later inform her music and inspire her fans. The Clark sisters, who were gospel royalty when they were growing up, were also a big influence. Kiara grew up listening to and learning from musicians of the highest caliber. Inspiring Kiara to reevaluate her own musical practices, the Clark sisters revolutionized gospel music with their fresh harmonies, contemporary sound, and energetic performances. Having the opportunity to grow up in a world where music was so revered not only developed her abilities and inspired her to seek a profession that would blend contemporary gospel with traditional elements, giving her a sound that would appeal to both older and younger listeners. After contributing the song "The Will of God" to her mother's 1997 album Finally Kiara got her big break. Her incredible vocal range and power were on full display in this song. Moment, released by Kierra Sheard's daughter, signaled her formal arrival to the gospel music industry and established her as a gifted musician in her own right. Her rendition of this song introduced her to listeners who would later recognize her distinctive voice and emotional delivery and laid the groundwork for a successful career. After releasing her self-titled debut album in 2016, Kierra Sheard embarked on a solo career. From a promising newcomer to a powerful force in gospel music, Kiara reached a turning point in her career with the 2004 album I Owe You. Gospel listeners were pleased with the album's reception because it showcased Kiara's talent for fusing classic gospel elements with contemporary rhythms and R&B influences. As a singer and songwriter, Kiara demonstrated her versatility on this album. Who wrote a popular memoir detailing the hardships her family endured, including her mother's near-death experience and her own life. Listeners connected with Kiera's lyrics on this album because they were honest and relatable, speaking to anyone who had experienced hardship but found solace in their faith. With the support of I Owe You, Kiara was able to establish herself as a fresh, contemporary, and spiritually grounded voice in gospel music, expanding on the This Is Me, Kierra Sheard's second studio album, came out in 2006, following the success of her debut album. The release of this album marked a watershed moment in her career, solidifying her status as a leading figure in modern gospel music. The innovative blend of motivational lyrics and contemporary music on This Is Me earned it high marks from critics and listeners alike. The album's production incorporated elements of gospel, hip-hop, and R&B, allowing Kiara to reach a broader audience while remaining faithful to her faith-based origins. A Grammy nomination and multiple other accolades were among the many that Kiara received as a result of This Is Me's success in the music industry. The album's message of perseverance, faith, and self-discovery resonated with listeners, particularly the younger generation seeking motivation. With this album, Kiara demonstrated not only her artistic growth, but also her commitment to using her platform for the greater good. The 2008 release of Kierra Sheard's third studio album, Bold Right Life, solidified her position as a gospel music powerhouse. Kiara was a member of a youth ministry movement that inspired the album's title. An album of upbeat, spiritually charged songs, Daring Right Life urged young people to be fearless and virtuous in their faith. The album's central message of faith and devotion was reinforced through the songs which were aimed at a younger audience. Christian events and youth gospel choirs adopted songs such as Wave Your Banner and Praise Him Now as their anthems. People felt inspired to joyfully and enthusiastically celebrate their faith because of their uplifting lyrics and energetic music. Bold Right Life was more than an album. It inspired a generation of young people to take pride in their religion and find meaning in their daily lives. Kierra Sheard's foundational work in gospel music laid the groundwork for her subsequent success. She was able to connect with listeners of all ages, from the youngest to the oldest, thanks to her skillful blending of classic gospel with contemporary elements. Music fans and a new wave of listeners looking for modern sounds with a spiritual message. With her strong voice and honest lyrics, she encourages and comforts her listeners through their faith journeys, triumphs, and hardships. Since the beginning of her career, Kierra Sheard has been fearless in exploring different genres and sounds, which has set her apart in the gospel music scene. She made an effort to merge older forms of gospel music with more contemporary ones, drawing inspiration from R&B, hip-hop, and urban music. This resulted in a fresh sound that captivated a wider range of listeners, including younger gospel enthusiasts and more diverse demographics. Kierra's music stood out due to her talent for blending various styles. Her career has been defined by the incorporation of musical elements into her songs. Because of this, she has been able to maintain her gospel roots while remaining relevant in the ever-evolving music industry. Songs such as Invisible and You Don't Know demonstrate her talent for blending uplifting rhythms with inspirational lyrics and soulful melodies, providing listeners with a Kiara has brought gospel to new listeners with her innovative and spiritually uplifting sound, drawing in those who may not have been interested in the genre before but were moved by its powerful messages. In 2020, Sheard reached a turning point in her career with the release of her self-titled album, Kiara. It was the pinnacle of her. The CD was well received for its polished production, innovative arrangements, and seamless fusion of gospel and contemporary music styles. It also showcased Kiara's evolving sound and lyrics over the years. The fact that it reached #1 on Billboard's Top Gospel Albums chart right after its release is evidence of her widespread influence and talent. Thanks to guest appearances by famous gospel and modern musicians, the album reached even greater heights of popularity. Tasha Cobb's Leonard's Something Has to Break and It Keeps Happening were particularly powerful songs about faith and persistence. Additionally, they showcased Kiara's distinctive vocal style, which was heartfelt and closely tied to the lyrics' meaning. Electronic sounds and contemporary rhythms were used in the making of the album. Components and R&B influences to produce a sound that was novel while remaining faithful to the gospel heritage. After the album was a smashing success, Kierra Sheard received a slew of nominations and awards, further establishing her as a leading figure in contemporary gospel. Among Kiara's many 2021 Grammy Award nominations was Best Gospel Performance for the SAG song. The Stellar Gospel Music Awards recognized her many accomplishments and contributions to gospel music, with numerous awards including Album of the Year and Contemporary Female Vocalist of the Year. A huge success thanks to its skillful incorporation of multiple musical styles, Kiara's album demonstrated that gospel music could evolve with the times while retaining its powerful message of faith, hope, and inspiration. Gospel musicians now have fresh opportunities thanks to her groundbreaking methods, which have inspired them to. Gospel music has a strong and lasting impact in the modern world. By creating her own distinctive style, Kiara has helped close the gap between gospel and popular music. Gospel has reached more people through her work with artists from various genres who have exposed those who would not otherwise listen to God's gospel music to its spiritual and religious themes. Kierra Sheard inspires people to be themselves and have faith in their own personal journey through her music and public appearances. In the gospel community and beyond, she has become a relatable and inspiring figure due to her honesty and openness about her own struggles. In addition to her formidable singing voice, Kierra Sheard is a major player in the entertainment and business industries. Not only has she achieved great success in the music industry, but she has also achieved remarkable success in the acting and business worlds, dedicated to the memory of her ancestors and the influence they had on gospel music worldwide. Many lauded Kiara for her raw and heartfelt performance in the film. As both an actress and the daughter of a working actress, she brought fresh insight to the part. Her nuanced and emotionally charged performance as Kierra Sheard brought to life the character's hardships, the challenges faced by her mother, and her steadfast belief. Both audiences and critics were impressed by the film's strong plot and stellar acting, which contributed to its rise to the ranks of the highest-rated original films of all time. My life was transformed by my role as the Clark sisters, First Ladies of Gospel. This experience not only helped Kiara feel more connected to her family's past, but it also opened doors for her in the entertainment industry, proving that she is talented in areas other than music. Kiara's commitment to her craft and talent are on full display in her accomplished shift from singer to actress. One more person who is a Kiara launched her apparel line 1160 with the mission of providing curvy women with fashionable, high-quality garments that accentuate their curves. The inspiration for 1160 came from her personal struggles as a curvy woman who had a hard time finding flattering, stylish clothing that fit properly.